tell me in my ear. Don't want nobody else to hear what you've been wanting to get off your chest. Wanna know what you've been on. This is something that can't be prolonged. Go ahead and get it off your chest. Shut it down, come around, make your move. Can't play around, ask me how. Is this what you wanna do? You never know how this could go. Don't throw it away, yeah. Cause I probably had some feelings for you, craving for you, baby. I just wanna know what's in that beautiful head of yours. You hide it all under your wings. This is true, I'm sure. Despite that look on your face, you've got so much that you wanna say. The floor is yours, spill it all, take it away. This is in my ear. Don't want nobody else to hear what you've been wanting to get off your chest. Baby, wanna know what you've been on. This is something that can't be prolonged. Go ahead and get it off your chest. Is it wrong? Tell it all. Do what you do. Spotlight shining on your mysterious face, feeling the blues. As you tremble, I'll shake my breath, you take away. I can't let up on you, no. I'm gazing deep in your eyes while you tell me your story. Your story. Please don't tell me lies. I just want you to realize I could be the one you can call on. I know your feelings for me are strong. There's no need to start no more. Hearing you out and I want you more. Come closer. Tell me in my ear. Don't want nobody else to hear what you've been wanting to get off your chest. Wanna know what you've been on. This is something that can't be prolonged. Go ahead and get it off your chest.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, my Scorpio loves. Any other loves that I have here, greetings, grand rising. I guess you guys saw the title. I have a download that, y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I ain't comfortable with, delivering the message, but I feel like I've been called to deliver the message. Okay, the first thing I want to say to the Scorpios that are under the sound of my voice is God is saying, stop having one more thing to say. You said what you said. You did what you did. Let it go. Forgive them and move forward, because it's holding you back. And energetically, Scorpio, I just want to be the first person to say, with my right hand up, I know y'all can't see me right now because I'm not going to turn over one card. This is a message that I don't have to turn over a card for, but it's a prophetic message. Look at the energy. I know it's prophetic. The energy is evening out. It's doing what it's supposed to do, because somebody got to get this. I don't care if it's for two people. I got 2 speech impediments. This like a AA meeting. Hello, my name is Matoki Thomas, and I have 2 speech impediments. One is I curse. The other one is whatever source tell me to say, I'm going to say it. It don't matter that I don't have all the doctrine that you got. It don't matter that I can't quote the scripture. What matters is I'm obedient. Who am I talking to? So what God, the first download God gave to me is this, Scorpio. You wrestling with this shit too long. You can't do nothing else with it. Give it to him. Oh, y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to keep wrestling with it. Y'all want the last word. Somebody keep having one more thing to say. And this whole message, God is saying, tell me in my ear. All those fears, all those hurts, all those pains, all those things that you want to say to them, that God's saying, if you take your mouth off them. How many of y'all know the reason why y'all still here and the reason why y'all still blessed is because they wouldn't take their mouth off you? How many of y'all know if they knew you was a seed, they wouldn't have buried you? I'll wait. Oh yeah, the energy getting a little shaky now, huh? 27, 21, y'all don't want to hear. That's okay, because this whoever that 21 is, they ready. They here to receive. Whoever I'm talking to, they had a download last night too. They couldn't sleep or something happened. They had some kind of sign of synchronicity that this message was coming forth. Because a lot of Scorpios, y'all dealing with some heavy stuff right now. And instead of y'all giving it to God, the warrior in y'all saying it's fight time. No, it's flight time. It's flight time. It's time for you to get out of the way of yourself. Who am I talking to? This could be with family. This could be with job. This could be with sleeping with the enemy. This could be any scenario. Check it how it resonates. I just got a message to give y'all and I'm going to get off here. Hi, Breon Coward. Hi, Kane Dane. Hi, Life Student Glory. Scorpio, I want you to get up every day after you thank God that you're still alive and you still have another opportunity to be heard. I want you to speak into the universe every single day what your speech impediment is. Hi, my name is so-and-so and my speech impediment is this. Matter of fact, put in the chat what your speech impediment is. Let me know what you're dealing with. Because we finna cut every cord, every soul tie, everything that was ever spoken over your life. Who am I talking to? If you here, you supposed to be here. Get this energy together, people. Let's keep it even. Let's balance this out. I'm going to try to go through this whole message without even, using one of my speech impediments, which is cursing. I got to start being able to articulate what God has put in me. Moses is a Scorpio. I'm just going to let that marinate. I'm going to let that sink. Because whether you're a holy roller, whether you're a Christian, atheist, whatever your religious background is, everybody know who Moses is because you're supposed to. That's how it was set up. Moses had a speech impediment. I don't know why God telling me to talk to the right side of this room. I don't know what's going on. Your ancestors here, all of them. Because I just heard they tired of you talking so much. You talk so much, you ain't really doing nothing. Ain't no movement. I keep hearing the time is now. Not yesterday, now. People keep focusing on yesterday, what happened yesterday, who it happened with, why it happened with you. A lot of y'all are just like Moses. A lot of y'all just like Moses. No, y'all didn't, make it through the Nile River. Hey, glory. Who am I talking to? It wasn't a Nile River full of alligators. You know what? Sometimes when I read that story, whether it's metaphorically speaking to my spirit or my soul or whatever, I often ask God, what happened to the alligators that day? What happened to the locusts? What happened to the burning sun? How was Moses able to go down the Nile River unscathed? Oh, glory. I'm going to tell you why, because he was destined. How many of y'all Scorpios know y'all destined? Moses was a Scorpio. Y'all ain't got to take my word for it. Go ahead and look it up. I put it on there so you can look it up before you got here. Because whoever this message for is specific. It's going to speak to your soul, not your spirit. See, that's baby food. Your spirit, that's baby food. You a spirit man having a physical spirit. I'm tired of talking to your spirit man. God said, let's move on to the soul. Let's move on to your purpose. Some of y'all talk too much. We talk too much. But you ain't talking to God. Oh, Lord. I'm going to shift my energy to the left side now because, see, give me a minute, Scorpio. Let me collect my thoughts. A lot of y'all wondering why y'all by y'allself. How many of y'all know Moses went down the Nile River by himself? He was protected. A lot of y'all keep trying to stop what's going to happen because y'all fear it. How many of y'all know Moses was a baby? Babies are not, they're born with two fears, fear of falling. And I'm saying to myself, I know he had to be rocking and bobbing and weaving and hitting stuff and, the wind. What was the weather like? I keep having all these particular questions and God said, be quiet. For some of y'all speech impediment was meant to move you forward. Sometimes God needs somebody with a speech impediment so they can reach other people with speech impediments. Who am I talking to? I wasn't put here on earth to speak unicorns and rainbows. That's not my ministry. Uh-oh, we talking ministry now. I'm turning tarot cards. That's divination. What is she talking about? Okay. Y'all holier than me now. Them the people I call the holy rollers. The people who in a marriage with somebody 15 years who they know cheating on them and them broke every vow, and instead of you divorcing them, you get you a boyfriend too. But every day every Sunday y'all show up to church, Wednesday Bible study, y'all keeping up appearances. The Bible says Moses had a speech impediment. He stuttered. He stuttered. He feared speaking. How many of y'all know that God choose people that way? You purposed. You're not supposed to fit. You're not going to fit no matter how hard you try. You're not supposed to fit. If you fit, you couldn't leave. Oh, I'm going to help somebody out. Sometimes, like I said in my other video, you got to turn your back to the crowd so you can orchestrate the symphony. God is saying, be quiet. If you got one last thing you got to say it to me now. Speak now, forever hold your peace. And I ain't talking about marriage. I'm talking about covenant. Oh, yeah, y'all don't want to talk about that. We don't talk about that. We ain't going to talk about that because we in the terror world. Who dare talk about God in the terror world? Me. I will. Because these just messages. It's a way to connect the people. Whether you be lost or whether you be awake, it don't matter. You can learn a lot from a dummy. Who am I talking to? I ain't even got into what I came here to get into. Because before I got into it, I was talking to God about my speech impediments. Maybe I ain't the one to deliver this message because I don't read the Bible every day like I used to. God say this ain't on you, it's in you. It's fastened around your neck. All you need to do is open your mouth when I tell you to, and when I tell you to close it, close it. I keep hearing show yourself approved, Scorpio. Moses was a Scorpio. You wonder why you in the wilderness? And I'm going to tell you why you in the wilderness. See, I feel my help coming on now, Scorpio. You know, I don't know why. Well, I'm beginning to learn why, because I'm being quiet. I don't have one last thing to say about the people that Ten of Swords me. See, to me, as somebody spiritual that know it's a bigger fight to fight than me saying what I just said, the Ten of Swords, or saying somebody betrayed me, I just don't feel like that's going to keep me out of heaven. Divination, come on, that's all around. That's when you spit on the broom because somebody swept your feet. Who am I talking to? Y'all, these Christian people, baby, I don't know where. Y'all need to wake up, baby. Y'all need to take y'all souls outside of those brick walls of the church that's telling y'all these things that's not true. Y'all got speech impediments that y'all don't want to deal with. Y'all don't want to acknowledge them. That's why God can't use you. Y'all hide them. Y'all won't come out and say, oh, I don't know the Bible verse by verse. Y'all know the Bible verse by verse, but your soul dead. I ain't talking to y'all, Scorpio. I'm talking to the people who condemn Scorpio for their depths. Oh, Jesus was a water sign too. He's a Pisces. And our opposing sign is Taurus, right? David was a Taurus. How many of y'all know what opposes you is you? What agrees with you is you too. What goes up comes down. Spiritual law don't stop because it's Scorpio. The Bible say God loved David. David did a lot of creep shit though. See, there go first curse word. David lusted for Bathsheba because he saw her son bathing on the roof. He put her husband on front line to die so that he can have her. God still loved him. Y'all keep allowing people to tell y'all who y'all are. Y'all keep allowing y'all situations to speak to your purpose. It can't do it. It's contradictory. Your soul and your spirit got to come together at some point. So when God gave me this download, you know, God said you got to get up though, and you got to read and you got to study. I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning. But if you go back to any of my videos, I always mention Moses, and now I'm seeing why. Because once you really get a revelation of something, and to me a revelation is something to your understanding, you can get, you know, it's people learn different. Some people you can tell them something one time, they get it. Some people hands on, you got to show them. So, but my point is, you're not supposed to get something until you're supposed to get something. And when you get something, now it's your responsibility and accountability of what you do with it. I know I'm all over the place. I'm finna make it plain. Moses was sent with the authority to speak for God. Moses had a speech impediment, and God sent him with the authority to speak for him. I'm a shift my energy. Because my ancestors and my spirit guides keep telling me to shift my energy because somebody don't get what I'm saying. So I'm gonna speak this way. God is saying it's something about my voice audibly. Everybody ain't supposed to get this message. This is a frequency. Jesus possessed all the authority in heaven and earth. He is God. But ain't Jesus the Word made flesh? And Moses was sent with the authority to speak. Somebody with a speech impediment. Somebody who ain't got 1,000,000 views. Who am I talking to? Who keep paying attention to numbers? God said keep screaming at them 4 people. Keep screaming at them 12 people, because what people don't know, YouTube ain't the only place God can bless your life. This is a platform. Go to Google and see what platform means. In other words, what I'm trying to make plain to the collective is the same ministry that made Moses great is the same ministry that makes Jesus even greater. It's one and the same thing. Two water signs, two fixed signs. You gonna tell me I ain't got the mind of Christ? Yeah, I do have the mind of Christ. But you're telling me because I don't speak the way, you've trained yourself to speak. I ain't, I love to hear T.D. Jakes, how he articulates his words. I love Sarah Jakes too, because I can tell she's the fruit. I get it. But everybody ain't got T.D. Jakes for a daddy. You just got God, and that's enough. The first thing God told Moses to do is get up early in the morning. The grand risers, the early bird get the worm. We say all these things and they camouflage them so they'll be so matter-of-factly that you just say them, but you're not doing them, so you're working against what you're saying. Who am I talking to? Who keep trying to manifest something, but every time they send it out, they contradict it too, so it never comes into fruition. And then they blame God, or they give up on whatever practice they've been practicing to try to get this breakthrough. I'm going to help somebody in a minute. The first thing God told Moses was get up early in the morning and confront Pharaoh as he goes to the water. I want to stop right there because, when I read that, something came over me because it's like, okay, I know the significance of how Scorpios can't sleep. We up in the morning. See, a lot of y'all are operating in y'all gift and y'all don't even know it, and that's the problem. God is saying, I need you to operate in your gift. I need you to know that people were sent to put that 10 of swords. People were sent to betray you. The people you thought were supposed to love and protect you, I sent them. That was the reason they were put in your life. They had no other choice to do what they did. That's why forgiveness is so important, because it's not for them, it's for you. Why? Because the lesson was for you too. Help us, God. All right. So, God told Moses, first of all, I want to let y'all know y'all enemy getting up too early in the morning. Who am I talking to? Moses went ahead to meet Pharaoh early in the morning if Pharaoh wasn't already up. Oh, y'all want to slay these demons and sleep all day. Y'all don't want to press through because y'all feel bad. Y'all don't want to deal with people because of what they said about you. Who the fuck are they? Big appearances, that's it. Everybody going through the same struggle. It's the people that's passing the test that's winning. And it's the other people that's not doing that, that lets us know why we winning, why we do the work, why we turn over our plates, why we do all these things when we get to an end of a rope. Sorry about this, Scorpio. Put my do not disturb on. So he told Moses to meet Pharaoh at the water. Hey. And when I think about Moses, all I think about is the Red Sea. Why is God, why does everybody have to meet Moses at the water? I'm gonna let that sink too. God told him to meet Pharaoh when he get up early at the water. And God instructed him to say, let my people go. Not just let them go. See, before I really got into this text, to me to let my people go was about freedom. That was not Moses' mission. That's not a mission for a warrior. That's not a mission. We're not just messengers. We come with the message and the consequence. No matter whether you have a speech impediment or not, but throughout the whole entire Bible, God always used people with fault. He'll use anybody. Moving forward. So he met him at the water and he told him to let his people go. This the part that gave me chills all over my body. This the part that gave me chills, Scorpio, all over my body. It said he told Moses to tell him not only let them go, but why? So they can worship me. Y'all keep having one more thing to say, and these people need to be let go so they can worship God. So they can see the error in their ways. So that God can deal with them. I'm here, shut up, Scorpio. If you got something you want to say, you better confess it to God. Tell God in his ear. Go to the threshing floor. Don't you put your mouth on nobody else. Listen, guys, this is judgment. Either you gonna get it, Scorpio, or the people that's oppressing you and have hurt you and betrayed you will get it. God said, take your mouth off of them. Don't you speak another word to nobody except him. And God just told me you better be on your knees when you're talking to him. This ain't you at your job and flipping burgers or wherever you do your work at and you just matter-of-factly, all this matter-of-factly. Let me tell you something too about matter-of-factly. Thank you, Source. God say, let my people go. See, Scorpio, you were sent here to lead people. That's why a lot of Scorpios in supervisor positions, whether it's at Burger King, AT&T. And if you see people, celebrity Scorpios, their longevity is off the chain. Who come to my mind? Lil Boosie. Come on, man. Lil Boosie just like old as fuck to be rapping, but he be hitting like when he was in his 20s. He a Scorpio. Our longevity, our creativity is timeless. You're not going to miss shit, Scorpio, by sitting this one out. God said, matter of fact, sit it out. We got 46 people in the chat, 45 likes. I'm going to give y'all a minute to get y'all energy up, guys. And maybe y'all don't need to, because maybe the ones that's just in there listening, maybe y'all don't, maybe they ain't, 11:11 was just on the clock when I said that, so it's divine time. I'm going to keep moving forward. So, Pharaoh, God wanted Moses to meet with Pharaoh early in the morning at the water, let him know to let his people go, and not just that, let them go because They need to worship me. They want to worship me. You holding them. You telling them you can't, you know, practice your religion. You can't do this. You can't do that. Stacy Brown, thank you for being a member, baby. I really do appreciate that. Let me tell y'all about our significance, how we rate it as a human being, or whatever the fuck. Excuse me, 2 curse words. I'm counting now, y'all. Do y'all know Moses was nursed by his mother for 24 months? And the reason I say that so matter of factly is because when I read up on it, that's how they said it. They just did mention her name. It started with a J. I can't even remember it. And I want to let y'all know that because I couldn't remember it is what God is saying to you. It don't matter who your mama and daddy is. You couldn't even help that. Some people are just like, your whole life has been on a search to find who you are in somebody else, even your parents. A lot of you Scorpios were born to karmic parents, karmic children. Why? You were the rock that they were meant to break up against, not the wall. Not to shatter them, to break. Who am I talking to? Who don't understand their purpose? God said, I gave you a speech impediment so that sometimes you shut up and listen. Sometimes the fear would get you to the point where you wouldn't, where you get locked jaw and you listen for a spell. God is saying, lock your jaw, Scorpio. And if you have anything to say to God, don't open your mouth and say it. Talk to him spiritually about the people that wronged you. Because it's time for you to move forward. You're no longer on baby food and he ain't going to treat you like you are. Moving forward. So he was nursed by his mother for 24 months. So matter of factly. But do you know he's called the son of Bethiah, the daughter of Pharaoh, because she raised him. Okay. I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to let that marinate a minute. Because some of y'all, you still searching for your adopted parents because you feel like you'll never know who you are until you find them and, until they embrace you and, you hug their neck, your birth parents, this, how am I going to know who I am? How am I going to know what this sickness is that I have? How, people have, we've gone so far out of connection for hereditary things and, we're grasping for straws. We're looking for science to tell us why we the way we are. Come on, guys. We're more spiritual than that. This human body done consumed us to a point where our soul don't even recognize our spirit anymore. Who am I talking to? That ain't for everybody. Because, see, everybody ain't going to be able to get what I'm saying because everybody ain't supposed to. Now, that's what I keep hearing because my spirit guys, they know me. I keep driving it home. You know how Scorpios are. You try to spin it a lot of different kind of ways to see if the person just don't get it how you deliver it because Scorpios have terrible deliveries. That's why God says, shut up with your speech impediment. I need you to get your speech impediment. I need you to use it for your advantage, not for your disadvantage. Oh God, thank you for that one. That was good. That was free, guys. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is the things that we are, led to believe. For one, Moses spent 40 years to find the promised land because of his lack of faith. What lack of faith? What was his lack of faith? What was his impediment? What was his speech impediment? His speech impediment was his lack of faith of being able to deliver the power of God, to be able to speak it, articulate it. Ooh, I love God. Ooh, he'll test you. He'll try you. You know why? Because you keep testing and trying other people, and God said it ain't your job, Scorpio. Your job is to fight the battle. Your job ain't to figure out who wrong or right. You assert your position and then you defend it. And when that war is over with, you let it go and you move forward. Oh, I know I know y'all. I know Scorpio because we hard headed. When I'm talking to y'all, trust me, I'm talking to you. See, Moses didn't feel like he could deliver God's message with power because he had a speech impediment. But it was because of his speech impediment that allowed him to deliver the message. Oh, glory. Who am I talking to? Who feel like they're a worthless piece of rag or penny with a hole in it? You in the right position to be blessed by God and used. But see, society been taught to tell us, y'all, my spirit guys told me to keep saying this. Moses was a Scorpio. They told me to say it like 2 sentences ago. I'm sorry. Moses was a Scorpio, guys. So we don't even have to wrap our mind around this. We don't have to configurate death and rebirth. We know why God chose him. Because he was going to go through the wilderness. Everybody can't go through the wilderness. You got some people, they go through the wilderness, a good mosquito kill them. You got some people who in the wilderness, they instincts and their intuition is not as keen as a Scorpio. Oh yeah, I know y'all keep saying God ain't gonna put no more on you than you could bear. I swear to God it ain't in the Bible. If y'all can find that in the Bible, let me know. I don't know who started saying that dumbass shit. God ain't gonna put no more on you than you could bear. Oh yeah? You don't think God won't crush you or put you out? That's why the Bible says, y'all fearing the man who could kill this flesh. Y'all better fear who could kill the soul and the flesh. Who am I talking to? Who keep hiding their gifts because of fear? Or because they got a speech impediment and because they listen to these other scholars, these holy roads, the people that know the scripture and the Bible back and forth, but they have no soul and no spirituality. They can't lead nobody no fucking well. Y'all keep looking at the numbers because that's what society say. But if y'all, according to the Bible, ain't but 144,000 people going to heaven. Now I'm just telling, I don't pick and choose what I take from the Bible. If I'm going to believe this from it, I'm going to believe all of it. That's just me. It's a lot of people in the world. That ain't a lot of people. So I know a lot of people operating in what they should be operating in. And that's the message God is trying to tell us. You keep trying to, can you imagine somebody killing Judas? The son of perdition, he was born to betray God. Can you imagine? That's how Moses made it down the Nile River, guys. And we don't even know anything about Judas before his mission. Same thing with God. Same thing with Jesus. Oh, God. The 40 years for Moses was the ministry. It was where he found faith, hope. I'm going to keep moving. Y'all, this message ain't for everybody. If you click off, go on about your business. However long it take, I'm gonna get this message through. Somebody is going to keep going too. I'm going to keep pressing it. So Moses spent 40 years. It took him 40 years to find the promised land because of his lack of faith. The lack of faith in him delivering the message to the people that God had given him because he felt like he didn't have the power to do it. Right? And contrary to what people think, let me put y'all up on some spiritual game. Spies toured the land for 40 days. Oh, that's a sermon right there. Spies toured the land for 40 days. How many of y'all know that God always sends somebody before you? I'm hearing prophet. He always sent a word before you. He always sent a prophet before you to scope out the land, to take a message to bring one back. Who am I talking to? 40 days ain't have shit. Excuse me, Father. 40 days didn't have nothing to do with Moses. Y'all know how long the journey was supposed to be for Moses and the people that followed him? 11 days. 11 days journey, not 40. This was an 11-day journey that turned. People say turn. I ain't going to say turn. You know why I ain't going to say turn? Thank you, Source. Hey, glory. Lord, my ancestors here. Your ancestors here. They keep nudging me. They keep telling me, keep going. Keep going. God decreed that the Israelites would wander in the wilderness for 40 years as a result of their unwillingness to take the land. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to help y'all out. Some of this stuff going on in y'all life, God decreed it so. It's not that you're an underdog. It's not that you're a bad person. It's because God decreed it so. Judas, God decreed it so. Jesus, God decreed it so. Moses. Who am I talking to? Who think that just because you turn a tarot card or because you sin, it did something about it? It's something altered about your journey. God said, you know what God, what this passage is saying to me is that he didn't get to the promised land because he had a speech impediment. He didn't get to the promised land because it's lack of faith. I keep telling y'all, whatever y'all believe gonna happen to y'all gonna happen. If you believe what I said in 22, about 23 and 24, it will happen. If you believe it's not your calling, that ain't what God wants for you, that's what's gonna happen. But stop saying that what you feel like is an impediment that God do is something that's holding you back. No, fear is holding you back. That's why God say, if you shut up a minute, Scorpio. I'm talking to me too. I love y'all. You know that. Sit still. Don't wrestle with them no more. You know how God say, you know what else? How many of y'all know God will throw you a lifeline too? He sent the spies 40 days to clear your path to see what you was going to encounter. You precious cargo, Scorpio. Moses was a Scorpio. Moses parted the Red Sea. Moses led a multitude of people. Who am I talking to? Who don't have water walking faith like Moses and a Scorpio? That's who your ancestors are. You made it through the Nile River without your mama, without your daddy, with nobody but God. That's why you think you alone, Scorpio? You didn't need it. God give you what you need. You don't have to have a mother's love to be able to love your daughter. You don't have to have a father's love to be able to love your son. Who am I talking to? You just have to have a mind of Christ. You talking about hereditary? My gene pool is directly connected to God. Not my mama, not the flesh. Y'all was born into a karmic family to break generational curses. Not the what they call it, tongue wrestle with people. God made you to stick and move. To trust him. In whatever journey. Whether it take you 11 days or 40 years, when you get to the end of either one, do you trust God? See, some of y'all 11 days wasn't enough. For some of y'all, 40 days wasn't enough. The word say God sent spies into the land before Moses for 40 days. I don't know how this story got screwed up. But God decreed for Moses to be in the wilderness. That means he couldn't have done a damn thing about the wilderness. The only thing he could have changed in the wilderness is him. The only thing you can change in the wilderness is you. That's what God wants you to know. Hey, glory. Thank you, Father. This is going better than I thought it was. So God decreed that the Israelites would wander in the wilderness for 40 years as a result of them, being so unwilling to take their land. It was only supposed to take 11 days to get to the promised land. Another thing I learned about Moses' journey in that decree from God is they didn't follow God's instruction, even though God was feeding them from heaven. Even though y'all know God done fed y'all, protected y'all, took care of y'all, kept y'all from the enemy, even when y'all was wrong. Even in your messes, my grandma used to say. Right? I don't know why my mind worked like this, but I wondered how many people died in the wilderness. 40 years is a long time. I wondered how many people actually died in that wilderness. And I, of course, asked Google, which it may be the truth, it might not be the truth, but it said 15,000 were found dead in their graves. And it says this was repeated for 40 years until the original 600,000 Israelites who left Egypt died off. How many of y'all know, y'all ancestors know, that if y'all don't act and follow instruction from God, that their whole line would be wiped out. Their whole ancestry would be... Y'all, let me ask y'all something. Because sometimes I feel like we be sitting here talking this to each other and hitting the like button and sharing and subscribing, but sometimes I really want to ask y'all, like, do y'all believe, do y'all seriously believe that God dropped you off with all the shit you went through, Scorpio? And Scorpio, I'm talking about them times where you didn't see no help in sight. You knew the people that you knew that wasn't going to come get you or help you. You were suspect about the people that said they would as long as you was in prosperity. And the 2 or 3 people that you ever called on that always got you out of trouble, now you can't call on them. Who am I talking to? See, what I'm trying to tell you, Scorpio, is God said, if you want to talk to somebody right now where you at in your journey, you better talk to him. Every rotten gut shit you felt, everything you feel right now, God saying you better tell it to me. You better not speak it out your mouth into the universe on these people that betrayed you no more. Not even a comment. God is saying it's time to move forward. It's time to forgive. It's time to forget. Why forget? Because your journey different. That path different. You won't have to remember that shit. You're on a whole nother frequency now. God is trying to get us to a frequency where we don't say anything. We let the power and the gifts that he gave us represent itself. Who am I talking to? Your power is unbeknownst to you because you won't shut up. You keep trying to do the work that God needs to do. All right, moving forward. So 600,000 Israelites who left Egypt on the journey with Moses after all these years, it started at 15,000 and it went on to 600,000, which I got to break 15 to 600 down. I didn't even do that in 40 and all these numbers. Number 11, we already know what that means. And guys, listen, 1111. We've been talking about 888, and here's this 1111 in my spirit. Y'all know what to do. I ain't gonna even say it. Cash App 1111, guys. If y'all looking for a blessing, if y'all looking for a breakthrough, if this message is blessing y'all, 1111. It ain't for me, trust me. I work every day. All right, let's get back to the messages. So he was only supposed to be the journey to the promised land was supposed to only be 11 days. 11 days, guys. I wonder why. Wonder why 11 days. Put in the chat if somebody's in the chat that's spiritually aware enough to tell me, because I don't know. Tell me, why is that 11 days significant? I know why the number 11 is significant. But why was the journey only 11 days? You know, you got to ask yourself sometimes, what is the purpose of the wilderness, Scorpio? Why am I here? I feel like we go to the wilderness for us to ask those questions. Why? I feel like they're rhetorical questions. They're not questions that God is really asking you to see if you know, or, you know, if you're going to pass the test, right? He already know the answer. To me, rhetorical questions are awakenings. They're those small little orbs, those little intuitions, not nothing deep. Just the things that nudge at you, make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, shit that you have no control over. To me, that's what I'm talking about. It's those things, right? I lost my train of thought. Okay. God said that's another speech impediment. My train of thought being lost. All right, let's keep moving forward, Scorpio. So the wilderness is for you, one, to establish your identity. Who am I? Why am I here? Why me, God? Why do I have to hurt so much? Why they don't have to feel the pain that I'm feeling? Why this don't bother them and it's tearing me up? All these whys, right? What if Judas asks why, and then complete the mission of what he was born to do? I keep telling y'all, a lot of times, your breakthrough is in you going. It's not on you figuring it out. Just like me, I'm a prophet. I don't care what y'all think. I know I am. I'm not here to prove that to y'all. When I say tithe, not tithe, but when I tell y'all to donate 888, I tell y'all to donate 1111, it's the power in it is when you do it under the sound of my voice without thinking about it. It's not that you're trusting me. I don't want you to trust me. I'm just like you. Make no mistake, be clear. I'm not, when I say I'm a prophet, it's not to say you're not. Trust me, let's be clear. I know all of us are. A lot of y'all are. We have different gifts that God gave us for this universe purpose while we're here. Okay? So, trust me, I'm not, but a lot of times, and I'm going to tell you, let me give y'all a backstory real quick. I don't want to get off of this, what we talking about. Let me put a little, let me finish it. I'll finish it. So, the purpose of the wilderness is to establish your identity. This is a place too where God can reveal himself to you. See, when you're in the wilderness, you feel alone. You feel like everybody has left you, and they have, right? And that's when God begins to speak to you. How many of y'all know y'all keep going through the wilderness because y'all won't listen to God? Y'all keep wanting to fight it yourself. Yeah, you're a warrior, but some things are not supposed to be fought, but you're supposed to know the difference, Scorpio. Why? Because you went to the water early in the morning to meet Pharaoh. That's why. That's why. This shit ain't, it ain't deep. That's why you wrestle with principalities. Because you got up early and you went to the water. You know what that means. You know what it means to get up early and go to the water. What's the water? The water's God. See, what y'all don't understand is a lot of times people are in the position they are because they have a relationship with God that you don't know about. I don't know what y'all depiction of when I said Pharaoh go to the water every morning. No, he wasn't going to get a drink of water. He was going to talk to God. Who am I talking to? Or whoever his God was. Some of us serve the same God. And we do with the same people serve the same God, and they do wicked shit. Excuse me. I'm up to 4 curse words, guys. I'm good. I'm going to keep pressing on. I'm going to keep moving forward. What was Moses' mission? His mission was to lead the entire nation of Israel out of their captivity into Egypt, to provide them counsel, to lead them in battle, and he helped them obey the Lord's commands. And God gave all of us skills, just like he gave Moses. God always reveals himself to us in personal ways. Moses did all of this with a speech impediment. He did all of this with the fear of the speech impediment. He didn't feel qualified to do what he done. Thank God he did, right? And the Bible, one thing that caught my eye, and I'm not going to touch too much on it because I haven't studied on it yet, and I don't know if God wanted me to, but I feel like this is a bullet point. Moses only had one friend in the Bible, and that was Aaron. And Aaron started out being his assistant. And when Aaron noticed how fearful he was of his speech impediment, it says that Aaron became his prophet. He began to speak for Moses. Let me ask you a question. Do you know who is similar to Moses in the Bible? I'm gonna give y'all like 1 minute. Tell me in the chat, who do you guys think is similar to Moses in the Bible? Hey Jazzy M. Hey Courtney Palmer. Hey Phoenix rising from the ashes. Long time no see. Hey Black Dora, thank you for being a member. Hey Sophie Manville, thank you for being a member. Hey Stacey Brown, thank you for being a member. Pure Solace, Miss Say So, Agnes, Wayne, Lisa, Diamond Oracle, Queen Vache Tarot, Life Student, Pure Solace, Wayne Walters, Chris Miller. I love all you guys. Kanye West. What about Kanye West? Oh, you said Kanye West. No, I'm asking you who is similar to Moses in the Bible. Kanye West not in the Bible. You misunderstood. Yeah, not in our day and time, but like in the Bible. Jesus, right? I was so hoping somebody got that. Jesus and Moses were similar in the Bible. What I want to say is strengthen your weaknesses, Scorpio, is what I'm trying to, is what the whole thing about. It's your weaknesses where God hid, all the precious gifts about you. It's in those pockets of fear. It's in those times that you move forward but you don't want to. You persevere, and when you do, you're glad you did. See, that's one thing about Scorpio. No matter what our motive is, we always move. We always hear God. We always listen for his instruction. I'm going to tell y'all something. And I don't know about y'all, and maybe y'all can comment in the comments, but it's on a couple of things in this world that I believe in. And one of them is God. That's one consistent thing in my life. Like, even if, along my journey, I question Jesus and the different things the Bible said, one thing consistent in my life is God. I believe. And I understand that there's nobody on this earth more spiritual than a Scorpio. Moses was a Scorpio. Jesus was a Pisces. I'd rather be used by God than loved by God. Who am I talking to? And anybody know when God used you, he love you. When he chastised you, he love you. God, Scorpios have a direct connection with God. Y'all don't understand. All the things in the word of God that makes God draw near to you. Scorpio got checking every box. Every box. Every single box. God is saying, now I need you to stand in it. I need you to walk. I don't need it to take you 40 years because I ain't decree 40 years for you. God didn't decree 5 years for you. He didn't decree 13 years. He gave you free will. See, Moses from the Old Testament, who am I talking to? God gave you free will. God said you ain't got to stay in the wilderness 40 years. You can go, you can do 40, you can do 11 days. Let me see how many cash apps I got for 1111 because God just said somebody just okay, whoever Catherine Copeland is, let me tell you something. Let me prophesy right now to your life. Catherine Copeland. It was soon as you said it when I said it, a portal was open. Get on your knees and right now petition to God what you want. Tell him every single thing. Not that he don't know. I'm here to confess every sin to God. Confess every hurt you feel about what somebody did to you. When you get off your knees, Catherine Copeland, be an empty vessel for God, and God is going to send so many blessings of fulfillment and contentment, beautiful bliss relationships into your life, into your children's life. You just broke 2 generational curses in your family. I don't know what 2 it is. I'm just being led by the Spirit to say whoever, Catherine Copeland. I had somebody too, Chanel Smith. You sent 888. You already blessed, baby. God is telling me to tell you, look at what's good in your life. Take your mindset off of what's not and watch how it grows. Focus on what you want to grow. Don't focus on what you want to go away. God say he got that. Because what's not purpose for your life will fall off of your life. Chanel Smith. You don't have to worry about money, finances ever. You have to worry about people around you. That's what I just heard. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about protection. Worry about the people behind you. God is wanting y'all to use these gifts. That's the bottom line. You sitting on them because of your impediments. And God is saying the impediments is why you got the gifts. Who am I talking to? Stop letting the world, this physical world, rate you. Rate. R-A-T-E. Stop letting the physical world tell you who you are. Let your spirit man guide you. Let your soul guide you. Not this, Scorpio. Come on, we got to be smarter than that. All right, guys, we're going to get to a close. But to those 2 people I prophesied to, I want to hear it. I'm already getting praise reports. People moving into their homes, their apartments. People leaving the toxic situations they're in and moving forward. Got a job, got an apartment. Shit they couldn't do in the town that they in, but once they took that leap of faith. And it's the people I told, I said, send 888. They sent 8888. If you in the chat, make it known for me. If you in the chat and you sent me your praise reports, put it in the chat right now. Let people know God active and he real. And there's some for real prophets out here that ain't trying to take nobody for nothing. I work every day, y'all. I'm a broker. Sure it's broker. If I told y'all what my checks was, baby, you know I'm doing this because this is my calling. And I'm going to stop doing that in just a minute. Trust me. Because I got stuff going on other places. That's why I'm closing my personal readings after this week. How many of y'all know when I'm sitting here talking to y'all, I'm telling y'all what God telling me? Because these downloads ain't just for me. When I told y'all to start sowing seed and start y'all business, I did it. I wasn't just talking to y'all hoopla. Ever since I got quiet, I'm beginning to see what God's calling and purpose is on my life. And I'm no longer, doing what Google say, write it down. Give yourself 30, 60 days. No. I'm on God time. You don't tell me how much. You don't tell me how give it whatever. God, it's God's time for me. It's the purpose time for me. It's the purpose time for you now, Scorpio. My stuff flourishing now. I'm telling y'all. And these are things that I'm going to introduce to you guys. But it wasn't time. I have always been able to connect with God in my disparity. Like, for real. Like, even disparity, prosperity, I've always talked to God. I never leave him out. Why? Because that's the only thing I really truly believe in. That's the only one thing that has been consistent in my life, all my life. I'm Moses. I made it down the Nile River without a mama and without a daddy. I made it in a family full of karmics. Thank God I don't look like what I went through. Why? Because you got too much life to live. You got too many lessons to give, not live. God said you done live the lessons. Now it's time for you to give the lessons. Who am I talking to? Who keeps sitting on their gifts because they ain't got a PhD behind their name? Your sister went to college, you didn't know. Who gives a fuck? You more spiritual than, excuse me, God. You more spiritual than her, though, Scorpio. She wouldn't know spirituality if it bit in her behind. And she telling you a dreamer. No, I ain't dreaming. I'm keying in my soul purpose. And my soul is identifying with something bigger than a PhD. That you got just to say you got that. You ain't got no doctor's practice. That's just bragging rights for you. Cause you scared to do the work that I'm doing. They didn't want to talk about that. Okay. Nobody want to talk about it. We moving forward, we done. Scorpio, I wanna hear y'all's I just wanna hear a little bit in the comments what y'all think about, what I'm saying. Can you think about all the times that you were in the wilderness, Scorpio? Oh, golly. For some of us, it almost feels like we stay there. You know why? Because God not going to have you out here in these spiritual streets operating in somebody else's, mold when he know he made you just like him in his image. God's strength is in our weaknesses, and I feel like that's how God works. I feel like that's how he identifies with the people that are supposed to be, on this mission. I feel like a lot of people hoop, line, and doing a lot of things and making a lot of enemies, going to their graves by themselves because, they choose to, instead of embrace their impediments, they become resentful because of them. Some things God made you weak in so that you could be more strong, have more strength in other places because that's where you need that strength. How many of y'all know if, like with the senses that God gave us to smell, this, and this, how many of y'all know when somebody blind, another one of their senses picks up? It makes up for the fact that that other sense is gone. How many of y'all know that it's fish at the bottom of the sea where it's very dark, it's no light at all, that now when they're conceived or when they're born, however you say fish happens, they're born without eyes. It could be a catfish, it could be any kind of fish. Whatever fish is down there that's not above, they won't have eyes because they don't need them. That's evolution. So God is saying, what God is basically saying to you, Scorpio, is all the gifts that you're not using from this point forward, He's going to take them from you. God is saying you using too much energy on trying to make people see you a certain way, love you a certain way, and them be a certain way. When a lot of times people are born to be a certain way. We all are here. We run into conflict when we try to morph into other people because we want what they got. That's the only reason people want to be other people, because they want what they got. If you had everything you want, you love your life, you'd be content, you wouldn't want to be nobody else but you. And what God is saying to Scorpio, your life, how your life has been, whatever your wilderness is, you're out of it now. And unlike Moses, you will see the promised land. But this is what you have to do to see it. 11:11 on the clock. We've been here 1 hour, 11 minutes. Scorpio, what are you believing God for? That's what I want to know. Put it in the chat. What are y'all believing God for? I have PayPal and I have Vimeo too. It's under Matoki's Tarot. What are y'all believing God for? I'm going to say this one more time. And the only reason I'm going to say it one more time is because my spirit guides want to give 42 people right now to change their situation. I'm going to put my Cash App in the chat. Listen, if you're not moved to do this, don't do it. It's not for you. If this message was not for you, I'm not telling you to do this. Because for whoever this is for, this is who this is for. I don't want it to be for nobody it's not for. Trust me, when I come on here and tell y'all something, I'm not doing it because I just want to keep saying that. And my spirit guy said don't say it no more, so I'm not. Listen, guys. There it is. If you go into PayPal or Vimeo, it's under Matoki's Tarot. God is saying, listen, Scorpio, this is a very specific message. Whether it be your mother, your father, your children, whoever has wronged you, whoever has betrayed you. If you somebody that's forgiven them and you move forward and you don't talk about them, you don't talk about the situation they put you in. Because see, the Scorpios I'm talking to, they living in this right now. It's fresh right now. It's fresh right now. You're living in it now. People are trying to block you. They're trying to stop you. They wish you were on the bridge. Your family members specifically. God is saying whatever your last words are, whatever it is you want to get out, God is saying go now to your knees and confess it to Him. But once you get up, this is the most important part, Scorpio. Once you get up from doing that, it's over. It's done. It's a finished work. It's you dying to self. It's a portal being open for you. 11:11. Y'all Cash App, Venmo, PayPal right now. The sound of my voice. Do it now. 11:11 portal right now is being open for a lot of Scorpios. Let it go. It's not your battle. It's not your fight. You were born in a family of karmics. There's nothing that could have happened to you different. God made your end to your beginning. He gave you free will, of course, but even in that, God knows what you were going to do. He had to make your end to your beginning. It's just certain things in your life, Scorpio, you have to know that it was a blessing instead of a curse. It was an assignment. And you're still on assignment. And God is saying now he needs you to operate more on a spiritual soul level than this physical man, this physical plane. All right? All right, Scorpio guys, if y'all still with me, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.